Hey, Jerixa, what's up?
Yes, hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Our pleasure. How can we help?
So I was watching your show for a while, and I was starting to save and trying to get out of debt and doing all that stuff. And obviously, I do have a finance car, so I was thinking about it but not willing to. But then I had an insurance problem, and they realized, or I realized, that I had points on my license a lot. So my insurance went up to 600 a month, plus my car note up to like 450.
Your
And I
insurance went
do
up to
Uber.
600 a month.
Yes.
Why?
I have 5 points on my license that I didn't realize until I updated my license on my insurance.
Okay. Wow.
So now the penalty is 35 months for it. So I have that, and then I have my car payment, which I know was kind of stupid. It's 450. So my idea was to get rid of the car because my kids' schools are distant where I can walk them, and then get an. The only issue is I work in my car. I do Uber, but I just feel like it's not worth it anymore. So it would make more sense for me to get a real job or something else, I guess. And I won't have a car though, but I have the T station across from my house, like right there.
I
So
think
that
you
was
have a
my
great
option,
plan. I think that's a great
yeah,
plan.
I guess my question is how to go about it. I don't know if it's taken advantage but I do live in like Section 8 housing, and I have a lot of like government assistance. So I know the goal will be to move up and away. So I do have a few options, and I guess that was my question. Do I lower my rent and take 2 part-times and then start career searching and, figure out what I want to do for 27?
How old are you?
And then I have 2 kids. I'm a single mom of 2 kids, and I'm 27.
Okay. Yeah, you got your hands full, kiddo. Okay.
Yeah, or do
all
I
right,
just
listen,
go into a
let's back
full-time
up.
job?
Whoa. Stop. Let's back up. Okay. You're asking really, really good questions after you got this really stern wake-up call from your insurance company. And it's kind of shook you, and you're really relooking everything, and that's very wise. That's very smart. So one of the things I learned many, many years ago, I read a piece of research that said that rich people, when they're making decisions, think about how it's going to affect them 20 years from today. Poor people think about how it's going to affect them Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been both, by the way. I've been the thank God it's Friday, oh God it's Monday, barely hanging on by my fingernails, where you are right now. And so what I learned to do is I said, if I want to be rich people don't make decisions that way because they're rich because they make decisions that way. And so what we want to do is increase the planning window. And so when I run into someone in your case, and you're a very inspiring young woman, I think you're going to really be somebody someday. I want to ask myself, 10 years from today, where do I want to be, and which of these decisions take me there? Because if you're not careful, you make short-term decisions which keep you in a short-term situation. If you make long-term decisions, let me tell you what almost always happens. They're almost always painful now and awesome later. Short-term decisions are almost always awesome right now, but painful later because I'm stuck. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So, what's the best career path for you that makes you have an amazing life 20 years from today? And what are the steps along that ladder that are there, and what's the first step of that? Even if it's a painful step or something you don't want to do right now and it feels icky right now, but by summer, we'll start to see the light a little bit, and then by the next summer, really start to see the light a little bit, and so on. And so, an example of that is Uber is a valid, good side hustle. It's not a real good long-term career play. Agreed?
Yes, I finally agree with that.
Yeah. So I mean, even if your car insurance hadn't gone up, you don't want to be. If you're 27 now, you don't want to be a 57-year-old Uber driver in flying cars or whatever, right? But I mean, that's not a good long-term play. So what is our long-term play? What do we want to be, and what are the steps to get there? What must be true about you and your life that's not true about you and your life today to get you there? And when Sharon and I went broke and lost everything, and we had a little baby and a toddler, and we were so scared we couldn't breathe, and the electricity got cut off and the water got cut off because I didn't pay the bill because I didn't have any money, I had to stop and think, A, I got to get those turned back on, but B, what do I do so that I'm never here again? And I started asking myself those questions, and that's how a lot of the principles on this show were born. So we've got 3 issues on the table today we need to make decisions about with a long-term mindset: career, housing, and transportation.
Yes.
Okay. Long-term, riding the subway or the bus is not going to make you wealthy.
That's right.
Short-term, it might enable you to save up and pay cash for a $2,000 car, and your insurance won't be much on a $2,000 car. Okay?
Yeah.
So maybe we do that for a little while. Long-term, living in subsidized housing obviously is not going to make you wealthy. But short-term, it might give you the footing to take some steps towards getting out, right?
Yes.
So we start setting some dates and stuff in front of us of where we're going to go from there.
Yeah. You know, Jerixa, the situation that you're in, I relate to in some ways. And there's something about kind of feeling rock bottom, right? You feel like you're at the bottom, but now the way to go is up. Right? There, necessity truly is the mother of invention. And sit down, like Dave said, and really start looking through, okay, what can I do? I want to give you Ken Coleman's Paycheck to Purpose and start thinking through, all right, what can I do with myself career-wise? What will that look like with childcare? And really start putting this, I don't want it floating around in your mind. I want you writing these things down on paper and creating a clear plan for
kiddo,
what you're going to do next.
Before I let you go, right quick, I'm going to jump in on you, Jade. I'm going to give you so much stuff, it's going to be unbelievable because I think you're awesome, and I want you to go do everything we tell you to do. I'm going to put you in Financial Peace University. We're going to sign you up for Ken Coleman's career assessment. We're going to send you his book on Paycheck to Purpose that Jade was talking about. We're going to send you my book, Total Money Makeover. I want you to work 6 extra jobs. I want you to stay in that place right now and get you a $2,000 car. By 1 year from today, I want you out of there, and I want you in a decent full-time job taking you towards your career. Your short-term steps to get to your long-term goals. So, 27-year-old single mom with 2 kids, 52% of the single moms in America live below the poverty level, and she's probably right close.
Yeah.
And the reason I just dumped all that stuff on her is it's my best shot to help her. And so the interesting thing is that over 30 years of doing this, I have met, I'm not exaggerating when I say thousands of people who have taken basic financial principles like we're talking about, looking long-term, saving money, not because when you look short-term, you take out a big car payment because the car smells nice.
Right.
She's living in subsidized housing as a $400 car payment. See, that's
$450.
That's what keeps you there.
Yeah.
And so, but the opposite of that is what we started describing and what she had already come to in her own wisdom. But the story for you in America is that you can go from there to millionaire.
Your bad break can become your big break.
And it is about applying the principles and thinking long term. And it's like a buddy of mine who grew up in a really rough neighborhood. He's said it's easier to get out of the hood than it is to get the hood out of you.
That real talk.
And it's easier to get out of the old neighborhood, whatever your old neighborhood is. Because how many times have any of you out there listening to me have heard or even said these words? People like us.
Yes, Dave. ...
The first time I ever ran into it, and I thought it was so humorous because I'm of course a southern redneck hillbilly, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And about as white can be, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I thought redneck people like me were the only ones that did stupid butt stuff with car payments. So I start to get a little bit of traction, and people are inviting me to speak, and I end up in New York City speaking to this group of people there. There was about 1,000 people in the audience, and it was pretty much the United Nations.
Yeah.
I mean, there's every color, every stripe, every background, every accent except mine in the audience, right? And so I was pretty entertaining to them with my hillbilly accent, right? But when I got off the stage and started signing, I was cracking up because this lady comes up to me and she goes, "But you don't understand. I'm Puerto Rican." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I don't know what that means." I mean, I know what Puerto Rican means, but I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, "All Puerto Ricans have to have a big car payment.
No.
We have to have a nice car." And I'm like, "Darling, that's not a Puerto Rican disease. That's a human disease." And it's like,
I mean,
people like us.
I'm probably getting ready to get myself canceled, but I hear it all the time. Jade, the system is set up for people like us to fail. Yeah. I hear it all the time.
Well, and I got to tell you, that is not an African American thing. That's not a Puerto Rican thing. That is not even a redneck white guy thing. I mean, it's because I heard that. The little man can't get ahead. People like us, the corporations. I got a relative. The corporations. I'm like, what are you even talking about?
Look. Yes. There are things, there are obstacles to overcome for anybody. For anybody. There's sexism, there's racism, there's ageism, there's all these things, but you're more limited by your own mindset than you are limited by anything systemic. Because it's like what you said, I can get out of the hood, but I didn't get the hood out of me. Or, those are the things. That's a mindset.
But the thing I was thinking about with her is, she can do this.
She can.
The problem is, I believe she can do it maybe more than she does right now.
And that's the
thing.
thing.
Because she's not got anybody around her going, "You can do this."
That's right.
She's not hanging out with people that are doing it. She doesn't have a community around her going, lifting her arms up, saying, "You got this, you got this, you got this." So we tried in just a moment there to be her community and love her and dump a bunch of things on her. But guys, you can do this.
She is going to have to be very intentional about changing her own mind, and because we poured it into her, but she's got to keep filling her mind with, "I can do this, I can overcome this, I can earn money, I can get out, it's for me." It is for me. Financial peace is for me too, not just the people on TV, not just the Joneses, not just the folks over there. Financial peace is for you. Being debt free is for you, not just those folks over there. So I hope she believes that.
There are idiots that will hold you back for some stereotypical reason. Again, racism is real. Sexism is real. Regionalism is real. I have people that wouldn't put me on the radio because they thought with a Southern accent I must be broadcasting from a double wide, not wearing shoes. But that doesn't mean that that's true. It just means that's an ignorant person. 100% of racists are ignorant people. 100% of sexists are ignorant people. That's ridiculous. And so you can't let ignorant people make your decisions for you and set up the boundaries by which you run your life. And so it just, the first thing I did was when I was a kid, I got indoctrinated. My parents got in the real estate business with the positive thinking movement. And then I kind of got, that's just overdone. And it is overdone.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But, I mean, you can't positive think your way into anything. But you can't negative think your way into anything either.
Right.
You can't positive think your way into everything. But you can't negative think your way into anything.
That's good, Dave.
And you got to have new information, continuing to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, and blaming it on someone else is part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is the definition of insanity. So that's why we get so angry around here and passionate about victim thinking. She didn't have victim thinking.
She did not. No, she called
she
here.
was scratching and clawing trying to figure out a way.
Yeah.
But some people look at her situation and go, well, the problem is not her. The problem is the systemic problems in the economy and the whole back of a lady like that. Yeah, they're there.
They're there, but you've heard me say it, Dave.
She can do it.
You can't blame your way to a better life. Those are all things that you can blame.
That'll tweet.
But at the end of the day, you can build your way to a better life. You can believe your way. You can behave your way. You cannot blame your way. And I love that she called here because she's tired. She wants to do something different, and she can.
So the reason I'm going off on the soapbox is for all of you that are listening, you actually can help people. and you don't help them by giving them a government program. You help them by showing them the way out and putting your arm around them and walking with them on their way out.
Yep.
And so those of you that are using our materials in halfway houses where people are working their way out of prison, those of you that are using our materials in domestic violence housing, that are letting those ladies get a new life after they after they've gotten a situation where they're no longer a punching bag. Those of you that are using our materials in subsidized housing situations or in lower income, whatever you want to call it, situations. Homeless shelters, a lot of them. We send them stuff all the time. Those of you that are doing that, it works. Thank you. You are the answer to these to folks in that situation. The reason I'm not broke anymore is because people love me enough to put their arm around me and show me a different way. I didn't figure it all out in my own head.
I know, that's right. I'm here because y'all came alongside me.
Without even knowing you.
Without even knowing me. It's the material. Like he said, if you are putting this message out there, you have no idea the domino effect that you're creating.
So there's a power to hope that supersedes ignorant people that are an ism. If you're an ism, you're an ignorant person, and you're in the way. And so if you're engaging in an ism, that's your problem.
Yep.
And there's the power that supersedes that is hope. And that's not some kind of false panacea, positive thinking way. The truth is, when you believe that you can go do stuff, so you go do it, that's when you get there. But when you believe you can't do it, then you don't go do it. And so when someone says, well, it's systemic, I want to smack them because you're a hope stealer when you do that. You're a hope stealer when you allow someone to blame something on someone else instead of going after the dad blame solution. Grab it by the throat.
Yes.
It's yours. Oh, God, she's inspiring to me.
I love it.
She's going to be awesome. Hey, we need to follow up with her.
I already got her email, Dave. I'm already on it.
You're on it. All right. You're a step ahead of me. This is The Ramsey Show.